Yo, what's up? My name's Retro Pat, and I've bought the least amount of video games this year than I have in many years, but thankfully, I did find a really good lot that I'm excited to share with you guys. This one over on eBay, got it for $36 after shipping and tax and everything, so $36 was my cost, and you might have already noticed if you have a keen eye for retro video games, Guitar Hero Metallica. That game is $40 alone. So, if we can find other value in these games, then we're just going to make nice profits. I don't resell a whole lot, but I like to build my collection on a budget. I priced out everything individually, and everything came out to around $116 on the high end, okay? $116. I paid under $40. Once again, 36 bucks. Keep in mind, look at this listing. Untested. These games are used. They're untested. They have scratches. I'm going to be going through and testing everything live today to see if I actually make a profit, or maybe everything, none of the games work, right? And then I'm shit out of luck, right? That is the risk when buying these little retro video game lots on eBay, but I love doing it. If you want to collect, I recommend collecting via lots. It's the old Pete Dorr strategy. He taught it to everybody back in the old retro video game YouTube days, and we still all do it. But out of this lot, Guitar Hero Metallica is 40 bucks, the top 3 games. Guitar Metallica, we have SSX Tricky. Black border is relevant because it has like the more Metallica, or not Metallica, the more foil cover on the game. Looks beautiful. SSX Tricky and Black border, 25 bucks, and then Mortal Kombat Armageddon, 20 bucks. So just those 3 big dollar games. I'm terrible at math. What is that? 40, 65, 85 bucks for those 3 games. We have a few other smaller games. Let's go ahead and actually open up the package. We've got it right here. I've already split it open, but I have not inspected the games nor tested them on my PlayStation here in the back. Let's jump into it. All right, if we rip the game out of its packaging, we end up with this. It's in like a big Ziploc baggie. I'm gonna go ahead and start I might even just box cut them out of this just to make sure I'm not like ripping and tearing. Then I'll show you guys each case individually. We'll inspect the dirt and the damage. You can see some chipping like on the Cabela, the Deer Hunt game. There's a little bit of wear and tear on the label right about there. I also hear what sounds like a loose disc, which just does happen. I mean, this is a cheaper lot. We're getting value. That's expected to happen. Let's crack this puppy open. Okay, a little box cutter action, and we're getting it open, but look at this. One of the cases, is that Tricky? Oh, no. That's really sad. I think that's SSX Tricky. That's a big dollar game being crushed there and damaged. I wonder if that's in the pictures or if that happened in shipping. I'll see if I can see that in the listing. I'm so glad I went back and actually double checked the listing. You can see some dirt and grime. This is not a clean listing. This is a perfect example of I am buying a product that I'm going to have to clean up if I ever want to resell it. But you can see it's not the Tricky case. The Tricky case is pretty beat up though, as we can see. It is the Deer Hunt case, and that, if any game is going to be damaged, it's going to be that one, because I'm probably keeping that one for my own little nostalgic collection. Let me get these puppies actually out of the plastic and go through each one individually though, but that's a huge relief. All right, we have our brick of games ready to be pulled out one by one. Let's start with Splashdown is the first game. We see a lot of stickers on it. Once again, damaged games, a lot of stickers. I'm not getting the full value out of these things. It kind of has the seal. I mean, obviously not seal still on it, but the fact that it has that little, from when it was originally sealed on it, it's kind of cute. It wouldn't increase the value or anything like that, but I honestly like it. A lot of these are just going into my personal collection. I don't own a copy of Splashdown. No manual. No manual, disc, and case. Let's check the disc itself. There is a lot of heavy scratching on this. As the seller told me, this was an honest seller. He said untested. Has all the scratches. Hard to see how rough it is on the camera, but it is a fair bit of... I don't know if there's any deep scratches, though. It's a lot of scratches. It looks cloudy as well. I'm definitely going to wipe this down really quick. We're going to plop it into the PlayStation and give it the good old try. Hey, you know what? First things first, I'm going to try this sucker without wiping it off at all. We're going to try it from scratch. Plop it in my system. The Spyro was still playing even though the disc was taken out. This is Splashdown. Let's see if it runs without any sort of cleaning at all. These discs are sturdy, man. It wouldn't surprise me. This slow load here, this to me is saying that it's not going to load. This to me is going to mean that it needs to get wiped down most likely. I would be shocked. Yup. Sometimes this system, though, just needs a second to load. So we're going to go to the browser, let it sit for a sec. Nope, disk could not be read. I'm going to clean this up, try it again. Now, for cleaning like this, I would just use a little bit of water in a clean cloth like this. If this fails, if this scrubbing does not work, I do have this little machine mechanism back here called the Skip Doctor, which has revived some discs for me in the past. It is not a perfect, you know, fix all, revive every disc from the dead kind of thing, but it works about half the time, I want to say. But I'm going to do some just basic water cleaning. Usually you want to wipe in straight lines, but it can honestly depend. Here, we're going to do this. I'm going to do straight lines. Sometimes you want to do from the disc inward and then out. That's usually used to buff it, though. We're just going to clean that. Honestly, this helped the cloudiness so much. You want to dry it on. I am lazy. I will often just dry it on whatever shirt that I'm wearing. You probably shouldn't do that, but that's what I'm going to do today for this video. I do not claim to be the retro video game expert. I just claim to be your average retro video game collector. All right, let's pop that sucker back in live time and see if it runs this time. Just to show you guys, I'm not doing anything fancy like this, you know. I'm not doing anything crazy off camera. It loaded up so much faster. It's good. That's all it takes sometimes. A little bit of cloth, a little bit of water. Maybe it won't load past the first level. Let's give it a little more time, but it was really just that cloudiness. When you just have that cloudiness from it like sitting and collecting for a while, that just happens sometimes. We're gonna give it a little, you know, maybe it's not fixed, maybe it's still scratched up too much. We're gonna give it a little bit of a sec and see if this works. Come on, Splashdown. I believe in you. Can you trudge through the rough waters? All right, I'm going to be honest. We made some progress. We saw the PlayStation 2 logo, but it has not loaded past that. So we're going to give it a good old spin in the Skip Doctor really quick and see if we can revive this disc. I think because it's minor scratching and not heavy scratching, I'm hopeful that we can, but it is a lot of minor scratching. Oh, and just when I went to take out the disc is out, but it did load up. I'm going to plop it back in and see if it can just run, if it just needs a sec. All right, I try to click X to proceed, and it's not seeing anything. It's not going to the next screen. So I'm going to take this as a sign. It needs to be Skip Doctor no matter what. I have a full video if you want to see it, going over the Skip Doctor, reviewing it, and testing it on a bunch of different discs. Honestly, one of my favorite things is seeing which discs it will fix or not. I think this one, once again, like can be fixed. It's hard to see on the camera. It's a lot of little scratching. You can kind of see as I highlight, so it's just a lot of little scratches, but I don't see a whole lot of like heavy indents, but maybe I'm mistaken. You get a little spray that comes with it. It's mostly just like a chlorified, like a very purified water, but you don't want to use like tap water with this. It will hurt the disc. You put it in the machine, crank it around, spray some water on it like this. I'm going to do this part off camera because it's just a lot to handle with my hands, but I will see you guys when we test it post the Skip Doctor and see if we can revive this disc. All right, we sprayed it, we grinded it, we buffed it, and then we dried it. Let's plop it in and try it one more time. All right, it is plopped in the machine. I've got my controller here. If it does not work this time, this is where I would usually go ahead and just call it dead, call it a failed project, plop it on the shelf as some nice shelf decor, shelf fodder. Could never resell it, could never play it. You know, it is what it is sort of thing. But let's see. We can at least see the menu a bit faster here. That would be a sign that it worked to some extent, but it's tough when you buff the disc as well with the little like buffing. Here's like little buffing cloth. There's a buffing cloth and like a drying cloth. It did reveal some like extra, more like really weird shaped scratches, like squiggly scratches. I don't know what the previous owner did with this thing. There was some really weird scratching on this disc. And I don't see the menu coming up. That's okay. This is one of the cheaper games. This was like $6 to $8, I believe. It would have been a really fun game to play, I'm sure. I love these sort of aquatic arcade racer games. Like, this looks like a fucking blast, but unfortunately, I'll have to get a working copy at some point. But now, in the future, I could get a disc-only copy in a lot, and I have the case, even though it's a little messy. I have the case I could plop it inside. So honestly, I would take it just for this. We got a really good deal on this lot once again, so some games aren't going to work. That's normal. And the same thing happened when I opened up the PS2. This screen plopped up, and it wants to work after I open the PS2. Weird. But I'm going to call that a failure. That is a thumbs down for Splashdown. This guy did not survive. Rest in peace, buddy. We are 0 for 1. Moving on to the next game. Let's go to one of the pricier games, Mortal Kombat Armageddon. This game is about $20. This case looks a lot better than the other game. It's got manual, it's complete in box. This looks way cleaner than Splashdown. Let's see the... Oh, this is not running. This is... telling you guys now. Oh, man. There's no shot this runs. I'm telling you guys that right now. That is... If it is, I will eat... I don't know. Something insane. A brick? This has 3 ginormous heavy scratches. I don't even know how that happens. and there is scratching on the front of the disc, which usually means it's cooked. Weirdly, the front layer of the disc actually houses, like, if that's damaged, a disc is almost always dead. It actually, like, under the layer of the like sticker, if that layer is damaged, it's usually cooked. So I'm gonna plop this in, but these are three of the, literally might be the three heaviest scratches. You can feel them, like they're it's almost like the disc is cracked, but not quite. Three of the heaviest scratches I've ever seen on a disc. That is crazy. I'm almost scared to even put it in my console. Like, I'm scared it's gonna damage it. It should be fine, but yeah, this, I just have no hope for this. Yep, no PS2 logo. I'm not gonna buff this one. That would be like trying to dress up a corpse. This thing is absolutely cooked. We got a case though. We always take the small W's where we can get them. All right, next up is the game with no actual case for it, and that is MLB 08 The Show. Now, a big reason I got this lot was for this stupid game. But this copy is destroyed. This is not looking like as good of a lot as I expected it to be, and that's the reality of buying lots like this on eBay, and it's the reality of buying untested. I've had a lot of good success buying untested, scratched up games, broken console lots. I always tell the story of I bought a lot of 15 Japanese Nintendo Wiis, and it said untested, broken for parts, and I think 8 out of the 15 worked out of the box. No, like, I didn't even need to do anything to them, and I was able to save like 2 more. But this is MLB 08 The Show. My copy of this game, so much minor scratching. My copy of this game, and I love this game. It's one of my most nostalgic sports games of all time. Shout out Jim Tomey. My copy stopped working recently. I love this game. I just speed ran this game a little bit, but this copy looks rough. I'm going to do a light wipe really quick with a little bit of water and plop it in, and we'll test it, and then I might try to skip doctor this, but this is looking a lot better after a little bit of soft wiping with this cloth. It's honestly looking much better in my opinion. Man, there was also little specks of like dirt on this disc. This was a rough disc. I plopped it in, load up the PS2. It's loading up. This is gonna get to the PS2 logo for sure. Show me the PS2 logo. Come on. Okay, didn't go to the PS2 logo, but it loaded up the little browser page, the menu. You could see the memory card. We can see the disc. We click the disc. Let's see. Come on. What? I don't know if I've ever seen that. It doesn't say unable to read disc. It just sent me back to the selection screen. What? I don't know if I've ever seen a PS2 game do that. This is the weirdest lot I've ever bought on eBay. What happened to these games? All right, I've never seen anything like that, but you know what? I actually have 2 PlayStation 2s down here, okay? I have a slim and then a thick one. I'm actually going to start trying each disc in both consoles and see if there's a console issue. These things are weird. They're finicky. Sometimes that's the case. I'm going to go ahead. This is now the thick PS2 loaded up. I'm going to go back and try. This one's dead. I'm not going to try it. But I'm going to go back and try Splashdown on the thick one to see if it helps run better. Certain games that I own run on the thin one and don't, or run on the thick one but not the thin one, like GTA 3. Some bigger games only run on the thick PS2 for some reason. I think it's due to just having a better, sturdier laser. The thin ones are just known to have like worse lasers from my understanding. But once again, I'm no retro video game expert, just an average guy who likes them. So let's go ahead and jump into this. This is on the fat PS2 once again. Fat, thick, whatever you want to call it, and I don't even see the game, the MLB 08 The Show logo for this one, the CD, nothing. But that's also because I hadn't put in the game. I'm an idiot. Okay, now it is reading the disc. Let's go ahead and see. I had the tray plopped out. I forgot to put it back in, similar, like unlike the Slim, which you just the pop-up tray, right? Reading disc, anything here. We might have to skip doctor this one and give it a shot. All right, it took a long time to read, but it did give me the disc icon. Let's click it and see if this does any better. Sometimes sports games like MLB, you know, sometimes these sports games do work better on the fat PS2. We get a PS2 logo. Didn't have that before. That's new. We're getting some weird flashes of color. I saw like some purple. Let's see if we see anything else here. We saw the PS. It's progress. It's something, you know. Different consoles, different PS2s just run things differently. And we get a blue screen. And this is the exact same blue screen that I got on my MLB 08 The Show recently. So you know what? I'm going to test something. I wonder if this is because I have component cables hooked up to this PS2. I wonder if it's a cable problem, not a console problem. This disc might work. Let's see. I switched it over to composite, which are the original cables the PS2 came with. Not seeing any image so far. Oh, there it is. We have action. Okay. At least MLB 08 the show might work, dude. Okay. That also might be good news. You know what? I learned something in this video. That might be good news for my copy of the game. Now, I know that PS1 games don't like component cables. A lot of PS1 games don't work on, they don't work on PS2 component cables. They weren't made for that. Didn't realize that sports games like MLB 08 the show have similar issues. This PS2 has a very, very slow disk drive, which is why I don't love to use it for certain things. This is like loading really slow. I don't know if it's even going to make it to the main menu, but we're getting more progress. All right, it took a long time, but we're seeing a black screen, possibly a loading screen change into something else. I have not seen anything pop up after that, so this might need to be skip doctored. All right, after buffing it, I don't know how I'm feeling. It's pretty beat up, but sometimes these sports discs are extra sturdy. Let's just give it a shot. All right, I plopped it in. This video is ending up a lot longer than I expected. I did not expect so many of these discs to need to be buffed, but that's the nature of this sort of thing, man. I always find it funny when people say, oh, like, you know, reselling video games. Not even that's something I really do, but I collect a lot and collect on a budget. But people say, like, oh, it's so easy, or oh, it's so messed up. People buying things and selling them for more expensive. It's not scalping. It's usually more work than that, you know? You buy something, you clean it up, you test it, you take chances on stuff like this. It's a lot of work. I've been doing this. I've been recording this now for 40 minutes, and I've had 0 games work on me, you know? And I'm down, what is it, down like $35 at this point of potential profit. So that's the game. That's the nature of it. So it is what it is. I like to show you guys the genuine ups and downs of things like this, so you guys don't think, oh, it's so easy and, you know, yada, yada, yada. And I do want you to think, you know, you can do it too. Don't get me wrong. I love encouraging people to find good deals on eBay. So we're going to have the thing load up here. We're going to go to the browser, click the disc. All right, the disc has been clicked. Let's see. Give us a PS2 logo at least. Give us the MLB 08 the show trademark stuff. We'll know we're back at least at the same place. Hopefully a bit further this time. All right, it took us a minute, but we got the trademark screen. That's something. All right, I couldn't get it past the trademark screen, at least any reasonable amount of time, and I switched it back to the other PS2. It's not working there either. So we are 0 for 3, man. The MLB 08 the show disc, unfortunately, dead as well. Now, I think from this point forward, you guys have seen plenty of disc failure and cleaning and etc., etc. I'm going to start going through things a bit quicker paced from this point forward. And next up is Stuntman, and I think we have our loose disc. Yes, oh my god, it just fell out onto the floor. We have our loose disc proponent right here, Stuntman. I am not familiar with this game. They said it was from the makers of Driver. Fun fact, Driver I owned as a kid, and I could never beat the tutorial, so I never actually was able to really play the game. Now, I know I was a dumb kid, but at the same time, I think the Driver tutorial is considered one of the hardest tutorials in gaming, based on many different YouTube videos I've seen. So it's kind of funny that it went like that. I'm going to clean this disc just lightly and then plop it in. And boom, this one booted up nice and easily. Let's press X to continue, and it just this might be our first working game. We finally have a W. Stuntman might be the first game. Yup. Everything loads up. Audio sounds good. Yeah, this looks fantastic. The intro screen plays. This is a really fun little intro sequence. It's kind of just talking about the history of stuntmen in like movies and stuff. That's so fun, dude. What a fun little cute little premise. Here's the loading screen for one of the first levels for one of the game modes called Stunt Constructor. Here's us loading into a map. This looks all good. It's so smooth. It's loading super fast. Choose toy, play, edit, arena. I mean, this. Oh, is this like a map builder? Wait, what is this? Car select. I want to try to drive really quick if possible. See if we can get a little racing going on. But yeah, this looks good. Yep, we can go ahead and actually race. Oh goodness, you're going to see me terribly trying to race from the, using the different screen on my... Ooh, the drift. Or in the grass. Okay, so this does work. It seems to work fully. We can load a level. We can race around. I'm seeing no signs of stuttering, no signs of lag, delay, anything. So we're going to call that our first big W. It's one of the cheaper games of the lot, but hey, man, it was like about $7 or so, $6 or $7, but it is a game that I didn't own. So we get to add this to the collection as a newly owned copy. Stuntman, hell yeah. We are 1 for 4. Next up is Cabela's Deer Hunt 05. I used to watch my cousin play these games growing up. I'm excited. I mean, this is a really cheap game, but I would love if it worked. It'd be a fun game to plop on, drink a brewski to, and just roam around. It's honestly would be super wholesome and nostalgic for me. This is also by far the least scratched looking disc so far, so hoping it just runs well. And Deer Hunt is just loading up. We see the Activision logo. I'm skipping through things. Super fast load. What is this little fella? Little creature popping out. Everything here looks super good. I'm seeing no signs of lag, delay, stuttering. This looks like a win. I'll take it, man. That's 2 new games added to the collection. Cheaper games on the $6 to $7 side, but you know what? Games I didn't have and games that I will play one day. All right, we are 2 for 5 so far on these games working. Next up might be the grimiest game of the lot, but the best game of the lot, SSX Tricky, my absolute favorite retro game of all time. This game is phenomenal. There's never been anything made like it. In this case, looks like it has water damage. This is like rippled. You can kind of see it in the camera there. Very rippled. Oh my goodness, the grime. It looks like a little bit of even mold down here in this, because it's under the plastic. This to me looks like a flooded basement type situation. I grew up where my basement would flood sometimes. What it comes down to is the disc damaged in that way. I don't think so. The disc looks not bad. See the scratches. There's definitely some minor scratching. How bad does it look? This might run. This might be fine. All of these are just scratched. All of them have scratches. It's got a lot of minor scratching, I'm not gonna lie, but I'm not seeing anything that would make me think this couldn't run. Maybe there's one little squiggly scratch up here that could be a problem, but anything on the front of the disc damaged? Not from what I'm seeing. This might work. It's gonna be kind of a coin flip, but I'm hopeful for this. All right, I wiped down SSX Tricky. I went ahead and popped it in. We're going to hope for the best. I'm also going to start keeping track of our total value down in the bottom right-hand corner. Cabela's Deer Hunt 05 is worth around $7 complete in box, but it's got some damaging here, and then I think it's missing the manual. Yeah, we could go ahead and just replace the case pretty easily. We have tons of extra. I have tons of extras of those. I valued it around $5 with the damage. Maybe you could even do a bit less, like $4. So I'm going to say 5. And then Stuntman is about 5 without the, it would be 5 with loose, but I'm going to count without the manual. Tricky's loading up. This is a really good sign. This game is like 20-something bucks. 20-something, just loose. 25 complete in box. Fantastic. I mean, it's a banger game, dude. It's a fantastic game. Yeah, it's about $20 loose. Okay, come on. SSX Tricky. I mean, I'll play give me any excuse to fucking jam some Mac games down like Tokyo Megaplex or something, and I will take the chance. We're catching a little bit of lag, a little bit of delay at this loading screen, hoping it still gets through it. I'm getting a little worried. It's not looking good. It's been on this load screen for quite a while. I might need to skip doctor this. I'm going to give it a good old firm rub on the shirt first, and then we'll try the doctor. All right, it took a second to load, but the old shirt trick never didn't work. Look at it. This intro is beautiful. So nostalgic to me. Oh, it's loading up. We can load up an event. We can go pick our character. I don't have all the unlocks, to be fair. I don't have my memory card plugged into this console, so... but it works. It works. That's what matters. I'm going to count that as the loose price since the case is so damaged. That's going to be plus 20 in value. All right, we're going to save the best for last. We're going to do Guitar Hero Metallica last since that is the big dollar one. Next up, we're going to do... Pimp My Ride. I hope this game works because I want to fucking play it. This and like American Chopper are games that I played growing up at my cousin's house. Now this case is like smash. I don't know if you can see. Kind of like, it's actually pretty easy to fix though. The latches don't latch. It's not as smash now though. Before it was like an underbite type situation. There is like Sharpie on the cover that's been scratched off, but it's not terrible, the case. It's not great. We'll definitely sell this as a damaged like outer case. All right, there is a manual though and the disc inside. Let's see how the disc looks. How scratched is this? This looks quite mini scratched, but these discs are sturdy. Let's test it. Gonna be totally honest, I don't have a whole lot of hope for this one. This game looks quite scratched to shit, but it loaded very quickly. I don't have a whole lot of hope for this. I would love to be pleasantly surprised as we already see the PS2 logo. It's loading very, very quickly. Which is a good sign. No shot. This game was so scratched. I wiped it down with a... What? I don't understand. Dude, PS2 discs are the weirdest, finicky little things. You could have scratches all over a disc and it will work fine. But if you have one scratch on a disc in the right spot, it's cooked. And there, there goes the whole startup of the entire game. Let's see if it does get to the main menu. We saw the logo, but now it's black screen for a sec. All right, it's not getting past this black screen. I think this disc is going to need a little bit of attention from the doctor. Let's run it through the machine. All right, well, I have some more rough news. I think my skip doctor broke today during the making of this video. I've used it for about 2 years or so, and I guess it's run its course. Let me show you guys what's happening. It's just a rotten day for RetroPat, I guess. So this little piece right here, it's a little bent in, as you can see. And when I take it around, it should go around, but look at this. It's squeezing. Hard to point to. It's squeezing, and then it's getting stuck. And then I have to, like, push it through, but that's not... Look, watch it again. It scrunches up every time. There goes the disc. The plastic has, like, bent on it in a way, and I'm trying to straighten it out and trying to fix it, but it just keeps getting stuck every time. So I don't know what happened. That sucks. I've loved this machine for what it's given me. It's revived a few discs. Honestly, it costs like 30 bucks. Paying 30 bucks to revive a few discs that it did, like the 5 or 6, honestly worth it. But that sucks. That's definitely a big bummer. I'm gonna see if I can fix it, but that might be the death for the doctor. All right, I popped the disc back in for Pimp My Ride. Let's see if it works. It's just tough when it comes to like disc cleaners. There's not a whole lot of options. There's actually like only one option, right? The skip doctor is the only real option for at-home retro video game collectors. It's the only thing that is reasonably priced. It's 32 bucks or so on eBay. Everything else is a commercial grade disc cleaner, and it's all $500 to thousands of dollars. I'm talking, they get up to like $10,000 for a proper industrial disc resurfacer. Is the word. Resurfacer is the correct word. It's just not viable for anybody who wants to just collect things at home and have their own little, even for businesses. What an insane purchase. All right, and Pimp My Ride is looking like it is not pimping today either, so it might be another dead game. We are now 3 for 7 on this lot, and only one thing could save it. Whether Guitar Hero Metallica runs or not. Let's test it. This is what this lot was honestly all about. The case is pretty good. It does latch. It does have a manual. It's complete in box. Let's see the disc itself. Let's pop it out. For you guys, it is cloudy for sure. It has some scratching, but I want to say it's like the second least scratched disc maybe of the lot. It's a little tough to tell. We're kind of pincering hairs at that point, so it's pretty minimal. There's a big splotch that's like clearly like there's just a splotch that I could just rub off really easily, so it clearly just hasn't been cleaned at all. I fully believe this was an earnest seller. I fully believe this was untested, because things weren't even like basic. Someone didn't even wipe their shirt on these discs. Like, these were not even tried to clean. I don't think someone would have. Yeah, I think this is a fully untested lot. I think the seller was honest. I'm cleaning off splotches off this. That's just like, I don't know what it is, grime. I think it's just whoever owned these games was a kid, a young kid at that, and just did not take care of his games the same way we all did when we were younger. I'm not trying to, we've all been there. That looks a lot better to me. Let's plop this in and try. Moment of truth. This is what this lot all comes down to. All right, this is the moment. Come on, jump to the PS2 logo quickly. Oh no. That's going to the logo. That's not going to the browser. That was quick enough. It's going to the logo. Yes. Okay. That's a good first step. This lot is literally made or broken. It is a make it or break it moment for this. Come on. It all comes down to this game. The skip doctor's broken. I can't even run it through it. I don't want to run it through it. I wouldn't feel comfortable. I could try to buff it out with some of the cloths and the water by hand, but I would not feel comfortable trying to use that on this $40 disc. Come on, I could maybe like pay a local service to resurface it. That might be my best bet if this is broken. Usually that costs about $1 to $3. I'm not seeing anything past the PS2 logo. Come on, Metallica. All right, I don't think it's gonna work. We're gonna plop it out. We're gonna run it through the fabric and see if that helps. All right, there is like a ring. I don't know if we can see this on the camera, but there is like a really small, you kind of can actually. There's a really small like ring scratch around the entire outer edge of the disc. It's only on the outer edge, but there is a ring that goes all the way around. It's really hard to see, but I think that might be the death blow. But we buffed it down, we dried it. Let's test it one last time. We see the Sony logo pop up. Show me the jump to the PS2 logo. Okay, we see the jump to the PS2 logo. We'll get that. Show me something. Show me some sort of Guitar Hero logo. Come on, come on, come on. Show me something. Show me some light. Show me some flicker. All right, I gave it about a minute to load, but I think it's time to call the time of death at 2:55 p.m. This is a dead video game. That makes the lot a loss. Womp womp. We paid about 40 bucks, got about $30 of value. But you know what? We got some cases, we got some stuff, and this is only like the second or so video game lot on eBay that I've actually lost on, and that's gonna happen, man. That's the risk you take, the gamble you take when you buy untested, scratched up lots like this. It's got to be something you understand and expect, and the loss could have been a lot worse. I paid $40 for 30 or 36 bucks, honestly, 36 bucks for $30 of working video games that were my choice. It could have been a lot. It could have been a lot worse. Nothing could have worked. They could have all been tested, and he lied about it. I don't feel like that was the case with the seller. I feel like it was a good, earnest seller. And you know what? The dice just didn't roll in our favor, and that's gonna happen, man. That's life. But I still had a lot of fun talking to you guys, going through everything, sorting, cleaning, and just organizing, and just going through a few video games of our past. If any of these games stand out to you guys, if you have stories with any of these games, please let me know in the comments. I love hearing stuff like that. The split screen co-op with your siblings, or maybe your father, or whoever played, your uncle, whoever played video games with you growing up. It's really, really cool to hear those stories and hear what these games mean to people when they sit on my shelf. If I don't have connection to them, usually someone does, and I like when I can look to a game and be like, okay, well, I didn't play that growing up, I don't have nostalgia to it, but I know a friend or I know someone who does, and that sentiment spreads on, and it's like sentiment like that. It's like an infectious disease in a good way. It's like when I see someone, if I watch like a comedy movie or a stand-up show or something funny and I don't find it funny, but then I see a friend of mine actively laugh at it, I will start to find it funny as well, or at least look at that thing and be like, you know what, I appreciate that this makes my other friend happy, and it makes me enjoy it a lot more. So I think stuff like that is beautiful with games and kind of under talked about. But we went 3 for 8 today on working games. That is a terrible record, a losing record, but that's okay. I still had fun. Thank you guys so much for watching this little journey with me and supporting me through it. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Dislike if not. Subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, or check out other things on my channel. And that's it. Have a great day. Enjoy retro video games, and just take some risks, try things, test things. Have a good one. I'll see you guys later. Peace, Reno. Hey, what's up? Retro Pat here, and I want to say a quick big thank you to everybody whose name is listed here, because it means you went above and beyond and supported me via the Patreon, which allows me to put more time, effort, and resources into this channel. Thank you so much, and have a great day.